Hello to everybody watching and listening, and welcome back to some more Mechabellum. It is the time of replays right now, because I have a lot of replays kind of stored up from my recent vacation, quote-unquote vacation. Less an actual vacation, as in I go to some different place and hang out there and rest there, and instead a lot of playing the favorite games that I absolutely love, like for example Mechabellum, and I've had some absolutely amazing matches. This one is less insanely amazing and more, how should I put this, progress on me familiarizing myself with a couple of units that I have not played all that much. I'm playing against cost control specialist with literally just tanks and marksmen up here. And there isn't all that much that enough tanks and marksmen can somewhat efficiently get rid of. As you can see in the first turn, they just go through my forces. I bought some chaff like I usually do. I'm a supply specialist, so I'm feeling pretty good at least against a cost control specialist. But my opponent, yeah, he's definitely... he puts on the pressure. Round one, you basically know what kind of unit composition he might go for. Of course, he will buy different units later on, but yeah, this is a pretty strong first round. Now, we have senior manufacturing, we have mass-produced scorpions, even strike specialist not bad, shield specialist not bad if it goes to the late game, but I think it's too early to pick that one up. I don't remember many parts of the games that I went for in the end. Okay, the opponent picks senior manufacturing, and I do too. I wouldn't be surprised if I looked at this board and said, you know what, how about fortresses? But first of all, I'm just dropping some chaff and an upgrade for health. My opponent is dropping some arc lights and some more marksmen and a pack of crawlers. I think, yeah, two arc lights. No, I don't think he picked up another marksman. They were here already. They're just not symmetrically aligned, which annoys me, honestly. He bought a crawler and two arc lights. And picked senior manufacturing as well. He also invests into a missile and basically erases, I want to say 60% of my firepower on this side. So guess how much of a chance I stand against his forces right now. Not that much. Not that much. Crawlers are actually getting in, but they will not be able to get much done because the arc light just hard counters it in the beginning. And this way, it becomes quite a painful loss in this specific turn for me. My opponent simply has the bigger army. That said, my board, if I'm looking at it, is simply a lot better than my opponent's board. He has one unit of chaff. Deployment specialist might help him a lot, but he's going for wasp swarm instead. I have nothing that shoots up, so I think it's not even unreasonable. But I just continue dropping some more chaff, and I think I'm starting to save up a bunch of money. Or was I thinking about carry arc lights and then forts in front? I can't remember what my plans were exactly. Anyway, I secure my position here against some wasp swarm flanking, because these fangs should be doing great in that respect. No, I think a swarm of wasps that are spawned still wins over a single pack of fangs of the same level and upgrades. I'm not sure what the big differences might be. I pick up another unit of crawlers. This way now, if he spawns wasps back here, they will attack the crawlers, and the crawlers will kind of tank a bit for the fangs to kill the wasps. So where does he decide to go, and what has he done? Now this is definitely more marksmen and another arclight in the middle, and still only one single unit of chaff. And apparently he does not go for my forces with the wasp swarm. He also throws down two missiles in preemptive position, maybe to get a wasp swarm that I'm spawning out of the way. And I guess this saves him if I throw the wasps into the middle, but I don't go for wasps in this specific case, I think. Now my opponent still has the vastly superior force in combat here. My chaff isn't doing all that much because most of it is quite far back. And I don't have the greatest force to fight my opponent's unit composition here right now. So I once again get totally wrecked here. But I think I saved about 300 supply for the next turn. That's it, my health is going down to like 30% or so. And here comes the turning point, which you should probably be able to read in the title of the video. Hackers or Scorpions or Phoenixes. Literally all of these are pretty bad for my opponent, I think. The Phoenixes might be less so because he always has area specialization. He's going for the Scorpions. I'm going for the Hackers this time because I'm looking at my opponent's board and there is literally one single unit of Chaff here. Like for real. Okay, I do end up going for Wasps. Never mind my stupid blabbering earlier. And I'm also dropping another Hacker. So now I have, in one turn, dropped a Hacker. No, 4 Hackers, 2 sets of Wasps. And I still can drop more because of the Deployment Specialist. So I decide to drop some more Chaff. And if I have been any smart, yeah, I put that in the middle and front. So that not all of my stuff just gets destroyed for free. My opponent's Scorpions, I don't really like that pickup, but maybe it was just the best under the circumstances. I like what I picked up this turn a whole lot more than my opponent. He does, however, have the level advantage on a bunch of stuff. He wanted to missile again, but it hits the crawlers in, the fangs in the middle. Actually, the Chaff goes in at a nice time. And now I have Hackers, and they start hacking. Like, these are only level 1, but if they focus on Scorpions at the same time, it actually hacks them quite quickly. Suddenly, my opponent's forces are fighting themselves and fighting Chaff. Hacker in the middle goes down. This Hacker is not going to be surviving for a whole lot longer anyway, but it gets another tank, and that alone is very good here. And my opponent no longer has any significant amount of force on the field that can fight the Wasps. There's just one marksman here. And under the tower debuff that the Wasps were also responsible for, that Hacker is not gonna get a whole lot done. Second tower debuff coming in moments. And there goes the fight or the round at least, for my opponent. And all of a sudden I'm sitting on some levels for Hackers. Well, 1 level for a Hacker right now. Enhancement module, amplifying core, sticky oil bomb, subsidized steel balls. Everything here I think is viable except for the subsidized steel balls. My opponent has a deliberately caused, I want to say, Chaff problem. He has no Chaff and I have a lot of Chaff. And that's why the Hackers are gaining so much value, because they spend almost no time hitting stuff that doesn't matter, and they directly get to work on some sledgehammers or Scorpions. He's going for air power, he's getting overlords, and I don't think that's actually bad. I'm going for range on the Hackers. I'm going in on the Hackers. He also puts down a shield. I think this makes sense as cost control. You kind of need to use the things that are unnerved for yourself, because put it simply, this shield, if you're cost control specialist or not, it will always get 40,000 health. Excluding, of course, any sort of use of shield device specialist. I've already spent a great amount of money this turn, so I don't have all that much more. I bought the amp core for the level 2 Hacker and gave the Hackers range. I didn't level the Wasps here. My opponent just used one single shield. And he now has a glorious amount of still 2 units of Chaff. Hackers immediately convert one of the Scorpions. Doesn't get much done other than distracting the enemy's forces. Shield here. Yeah, he still doesn't really have anything to go up against the Wasps. Like, the Overlords are nice and everything, but their preferred target should not be Wasps. Unless it's carry Wasps, of course. Anyway, it turns out to be almost like the last round. I don't have much in the way of shooting these units here. The Wasps themselves at this level aren't gonna do it. But, fortunately, I get one of his Hackers on the side. And now that level 2 Hacker under tower debuff starts hitting his own Overlords. Meanwhile, I've converted the entire rest of the ground force. And the combined power of the Fangs, the Wasps, and on this side the Marksman was able to get the Overlords out of the way as well, and I survived with all 3 shields intact. Now, no small chaff units being offered, of course, because we have both Fangs and Crawlers on the field. So basically only a bunch of big units remain, especially high-level Rhinos, Fortresses, Vulcans. I'm going for the Fortresses. Because right now, my force is just looking so much better because of all of the chaff. And I can start leveling some more hackers. I can drop down the fortresses in order to tank some stuff. I decide to drop them on sites right now at least, where the enemy overlords are not. And I decide to use them for anti-air as well. I'm also dropping them in the middle so that they can start shooting. These overlords have range and launcher overload, but there's not much more. He buys some additional chaff units, but we're in round 6. Do you really want to spend your supply on chaff all that much? He also adds more shields, and he bought the Vulcan. Which is absolutely... like, this is probably the best pickup that he could do, realistically, right now. He gets range enhancement, and he buys out for it. And for the rest of the money, he goes into tanks, which is sad against my fortresses here. Now, the fortresses primarily exist for anti-air and to buy time. As you can see, they get down these overlords pretty quickly. They can tank a decent bit even against the scorpions, for however long they will stay under my enemy's control anyway. I'm starting to get the Vulcan as well. And yeah, one overlord has already gone down. And with that second overlord going down, there's basically no hope for my opponent. This has been a match where I think it is very well shown why you need chaff. You can't just expect to build nothing but tanks, marksmen and overlords and win. So while this was kind of a stomp, I just wanted to show it, first of all, because this is why hackers exist in a way, I think as well. They punish players that have, by round 6, 1, 2, 3, 4 units of chaff on the board. I guess you can call sledgehammers big chaff, but they are kinda just feeding the hackers, if you ask me. They are difficult to get rid of once they have been hacked, because some pretty big stuff needs to shoot them. They need to eat around from a scorpion or overlord missiles or sniper fire or enough tank fire. So really, this is just I like to teach other people. This is not a board. I don't know how to say this correctly, but to put it very bluntly, you need chaff on your boards. If you're playing like this guy, you're just asking for hackers. And I think that was a big problem in my past as well, because I used to put sledges, I used to put a lot of sledges down, because they were really good against everything. And then the hackers came out and destroyed me. So these days, I just build a whole lot more chaff. It makes me more vulnerable to things like Vulcans, but it definitely saves me a lot of trouble against hackers, I think. Because if I had this board, I bet my opponent would have gone for hackers as well. So yeah, that's the importance of chaff shown in a very short match. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't worry, not every game that I have done in my vacation was an absolute stomp where I walk all over the opponent once the board aligns. There's gonna be some other games in there, let's just call it that. So I hope to see you next time as well, and have a nice evening, ladies and gentlemen.